Hey guys, just making some minor adjustments. The reason I just want to do this video is this is kind of like a reaction to the 22 NBA Finals. So you probably don't know this about me, but I am fat, and I'm also a big NBA fan. I'm gonna try to get a little closer so you can see my other chins. Okay. I got my laptop here too. I was just kind of going through like the stats of it. So I'm a big NBA fan. This is the Warriors' fourth championship, or under this like dynasty. They won it all in 15, 17, 18. There's always been like gripes about the 17, 18 championships because of Durant and the super team, and in my opinion, like the 17 Warriors were the best team I've ever seen. 96 Bulls, 86 Celtics. Honestly, like 01 Lakers, 13 Heat, 08 Celtics were really good too. And some like the old Bill Russell and Chamberlain teams were really good too. I can't see any of those teams objectively beating the 17 Warriors. And this team's really good too. I thought like whenever they made the move to so they lost Durant, but like in 19, so 3 years ago, and they had made a move where they were basically doing a sign and trade for D'Angelo Russell. They were trying to get something out of it. They weren't trying to lose Durant straight out. And D'Angelo Russell was a really good player. He's still really good. He's with Minnesota now. I think he was like a number 2 pick. I don't think he's quite that good. And he fit, the first year, after they lost the title, it was Clay was out for the whole year. Draymond got hurt. Steph broke his hand, so he missed most of the season. I can't remember what it was. And there was this kind of push to trade for Andrew Wiggins, who was like the 2014 number 1 pick. And there's always been like this thing about Wiggins is just kind of like a now he's making like $30 million a year or something like that or more, and not met expectations. Like he's a really good player, but he's just not great or anything like that. And I felt like this was a good move for him to get him because he really filled in that Durant blank. Like I always thought Wiggins was. I thought that trade was really good for both teams. I think Wiggins had kind of exhausted himself with the Timberwolves, and I felt like D'Angelo Russell fit in better with the Timberwolves. And I think Wiggins, whenever Steph would come back or something like that, I think D'Angelo Russell would just eventually he would be playing like Jordan Poole's role, coming off the bench and stuff like that. And I don't think that would be good for him. I just don't think he would fit like that. I think D'Angelo Russell, at the moment is a better player than Jordan Poole, but Jordan Poole's really good too. I just don't think he would have bought in like that. To me, I felt like Wiggins was somewhere in between the Harrison Barnes and the Durant. It was just somewhere in between there. Obviously, he got better defensively. I got my laptop here. I'm just kind of looking at some of the stats. I've watched, I haven't really got to watch the games throughout, just kind of watching highlights and stuff mostly. And he played really good defense. I think he really did a push on Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I look at I know stats don't tell everything, but Wiggins averaged 1/2 steals, 1/2 blocks, 18 and 9, 2 assists, 45% from the field. He's never been a great 3-point shooter. He shot 30%, 69 from the free throw line. If I look at Jaylen Brown and stuff like that, Jaylen Brown shot 43 from the field, 34 from 3-point range. Tatum shot 37 from the field, but shot 47 from 3. And attempts wise, it looks like, I'm looking a little closer at Tatum's. It's he was 20 of 44 from 3 for the whole series, 6-game series. And he was 44 for 120 from the field. So it's, 37%. If you took that, he was 24 of 76. What am I doing the math right? So 20, 24, 44, 76. That's still not a very good field goal percentage. That's. Let me see. Make sure I'm doing the math right, because I just feel like, 24 of 76. I mean, that's not very good. That's 24 of 76 is like less than a third, like 33%, 32% maybe. And I've seen him really switch on them, like, switch on those two guys. And I was like, okay, wow, this is, really good. Marcus Smart was good too. I mean, like, my thing is like, if you're a really great defensive player and you're a really great offensive player, the offensive players is going to win. Like I always say, like, minimize, not eliminate. That's like because you're not going to stop a person that good of a scorer from stopping scoring. It's just not going to happen. And I mean, like, his main objective was guarding Steph. And Steph was, let's see, averaged 31, 6 and 5, led everybody in steals, shot 48% from the field, 44% from three. I'm not even mentioning free throw percentage because, obviously he's 86, which he's like the all-time great, I think, on that. I mean, like, he finally got his finals MVP, which I think he should have won in 2015. Like, 2015 to me, I was more like, okay, LeBron should have won it because he had carried the team so far without Kyrie and Kevin Love, which I think Kyrie played like game one briefly, and then he got hurt. He like broke his knee or something like that. Kevin Love was out since like first round. So I mean, like, this kind of validates it. I mean, we can't. I ain't trying to take anything away from like Iguodala or anything like that, but I just never thought he should have won it. I mean, like, he was good. But just no. Clay averaged 17, 3 and 2, 36 from the field, 35 from 3. Clay's never been like spectacular in the finals. He's had like really good games, but he's never been like, the go-to guy. He's always been like the second, third option. With Draymond, he averaged 6 points, 8 boards, 6 assists, about 2 steals and a block, 33% from the field, 13% from 3. Jordan Poole averaged 13, 44 from the field, 39 from 3. So he was like that punch off the bench, kind of what he's been doing. Like with this team, like Steph's 34. I'm just trying to look up stuff on my computer just to kind of wrap my head around it. Clay's 32. Let's see, how old is Draymond? Yeah, Draymond's 32 as well. This is a team that's not old, but like their windows, is closing. I mean, I think about like when I first watched the NBA and like, early 90s, and then seeing like Karl Malone and Jordan going at it for, the 97, 98 finals, and like, they were older guys too. And, that was kind of it, like, I mean, after that, it was just, once you hit your mid to late 30s, like, we're seeing that with LeBron. He's slowing down a little bit, this was a really good series. As the NBA fan, I'm really objective. Like, I like the Warriors. I like a lot of teams. There's just, I'm not like particular one person. I mean, it was kind of LeBron for me for a while, but like last couple of years it just kind of, fade a little bit. I still think he's probably the second greatest of all time. So. The big question I keep seeing is like, every time someone wins a championship, it's like, okay, so where do they rank all time now, And, for me, one thing I want to bring up is I want to bring up ESPN's top 10 because I saw this recently and I was just like for the most part, I liked it, but like I was just like, you know, let's see if I can bring it up. Because I think the NBA had ranked like their top 75 players, and then they picked it, or I think they did 76 or 75 or whatever it was, and then you know ESPN went here and ranked it. Um, so I'm just making sure I've got the right list because there was one that I saw and I was just like, I had some big concerns. And this is not it. Not quite. So there was a list I'd seen. I think it was on First Take or something like that, where like they had. The one thing that got me is they had Oscar Robertson in the top 10. I strongly disagree against that. Like we've seen a guy that we've seen Russ average triple doubles and what's it led to? Like I agree that he's like a all time great and all this stuff. I mean, the Big O, I'd probably put him like top 15. Like just, I felt like he was kind of sharing the load with that 72 Bucks championship team, I think, with Kareem, a little bit sooner at the time. I wouldn't put him top 10. I just don't, like, to me, like, for me to give someone, it's not necessarily top 10 to be like at that peak of group of players. It's about you being like, have led your team to multiple championships. And in an era where people can believe you're good. Like, I mean, I know George Mikan did it, but like George Mikan was like, what, 6'8", and that's all I could do was just, he was way bigger than everybody else, I don't get me wrong, he's in the Hall of Fame and all that stuff, but like, like I see here, they had, when they ranked him, they put Oscar at 11th and Hakeem at 12th. I would easily put Hakeem over him, like Hakeem won 2 championships. Our last team to 2 championships, especially 94 with no other All-Star. Even 95 with Clyde Drexler being, kind of like a semi-star, kind of on the downswing. Still being a really good player, but... and at this point, they had Steph and Durant 13th and 14th. For me, like, Durant, it's kind of like... He's kind of at the bottom there of, like, those players that won championships, and I'm not trying to vilify them or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, as far as players that led their team to multiple championships, which he earned it, like, it was like, I'm gonna go back a little bit and just kind of look at these finals performances, 17 and 18. Yeah, 17 finals, obviously Cavs and Warriors, they, played 4 straight times. You averaged 35, 8 and 5. 1 steal, 1.5 blocks, 56% from the field, 47 from 3, 93 from the free throw line. Let's see. 2018, we had 29 a game, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, 53 from the field, 41 from 3, 2.3 blocks, about a steal a game. I mean, you can't take that away from him, as far as being like a great, oh yeah, you can be on paper, put on the best team ever, just because you're that good or whatever, but like, no one's going to take that away from me, so I think he had the easiest path to win the league's team multiple championships. I'm just not saying like he didn't earn it, like, I mean, that's just my thing. They had Steph right above him, and really thinking about this, I would put, before this championship, I would put Steph below Durant. Like, I felt like Steph was in that group. He was probably the best. Like, for me, like, I always think of like the best group of players, the guys that led your team multiple championships, and then right below there is like these great players that have led their team to 1 championship. Accidentally clicked on the celebration video, so that's what all that background noise was. I was like, what in the world? Like, someone really agrees with my opinion. So I'm gonna bring this up again. I'm just gonna turn my sound off so I don't accidentally click on something again. So, I'm looking at this top 10. I'm like, okay, Shaq is 10th. And I know people are going to hate me for saying this. Shaq and Kobe like are neck and neck for me, But I have to put Shaq above Kobe. I mean, just, like I get like Kobe was 5 rings versus 4, 5 square and 4. Whatever. Shaq was dominant for 3 of them. Kobe was semi-dominant for 2 of them. From 2001, 02, that was Shaq's team. I mean, Kobe's probably the second best, probably the greatest, like, second star on the championship dynasty, but, like, no. I mean, I just see Shaq. He dominated there, both guys kind of ended their career a little rough, but, yeah. Duncan, number 8. To me, I have Duncan like top 5 probably. 19 years, 5 championships, 3 rings. I'm sorry, 5 championships, 3 finals MVPs, 2 regular season MVPs. I know he never led the league in anything but like double doubles, I think. But like, to me, like, I mean, being an all-time greater, like, if you look at, like, I don't know, good example is Karl Malone. Like, I bet someone went to Karl Malone and said, like, hey, man, would you trade one of your MVPs for championship? And he'd say, oh, yeah. Would you trade 2 of your MVPs for championship? Oh, yeah. Barkley would probably say the same thing, It's just, like John Stockton, like, I don't think he's like a top 5, top 10 player for leading the league in assists and steals and all that. I think it's more about, like, leading your team to a championship. If you're talking about the greatest players of all time, the objective of every NBA season is to win a championship. Now, if your objective is to break Will Chamberlain's 100 points or be the all-time leader in points or assists or steals, that's gonna be a different legacy. It's not gonna be the legacy to be the greatest player of all time. It's not, And I felt like Duncan was always like that. He was just a guy that, like, corralled his team player, probably the best defensive player to never win Defensive Player of the Year. Like, I think it was a 15-time All-Defensive Player, like something like that. It's nuts. Like, I'm gonna just look up, I'm using BK Ref. It's called basketballreference.com. If you want to look at stats and kind of summary, this is really my favorite. So yeah, Duncan played 19 seasons, 15-time All-Star, 15-time All-NBA, 15-time All-Defensive Team. First, second team, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. I mean, I can't go against this. I mean, like, I know his, like, stats are like 19, 11, 3, 2 blocks. 70% from the field or free throw line, 51 from the field. But I mean, you look at the playoffs, it's just all another story. Like, 99, he had 23, 12, 3, and 3 blocks. 03, when they won it again, 25. This is for the playoffs, not just the finals. 25, 15 rebounds, 5 assists, 3.3 blocks. When they won it in 05, he averaged 24, 12, 3 assists, 2.5 blocks. Even 07, averaged 22, 12, 3, and 3. In 14, which to me, I would have picked him to be the finals MVP that year. I just thought, I played great, but I mean, if I had to pick, I'd have picked him just slightly over him. So I mean, yeah, I can't see him that low. They got Bird at 7th, and they got Magic at 5th. To me, Bird and Magic are like Kobe and Shaq. I just kind of put them neck and neck. I put Magic just slightly above Bird. just for the 2 extra championships, really. And, kind of like I know Magic played 12 seasons, Bird played 13, but, those last 2 or 3 seasons for Bird were pretty rough. He had like some back injuries and was really slowing down. If it wasn't for that, like I felt like Bird and Magic would have been, it would have been Lakers and the Celtics versus Lakers and the Pistons in the late 80s. So that's that. If you look at PER and stuff like that, Bird's always way up there. And so they got Bird 7th and Magic 5th. Will Chamberlain 6th. And like I get it, like Will Chamberlain was just a monster. He was one of probably the statistically the most statistically prolific NBA player of all time. I can't even say it out. 100 points in a game, 55 rebounds in a game, averaged 50 points per season, got 4,000 points in a season, which was that season. But I mean, he only won 2 championships. I mean, like I don't know, like if I look at him, like I'm just gonna kind of look up his stuff real quick. 13-time All-Stars, 7-time scoring champion. He won the assist title in 68. If you look at his stats, so he played from 59 to 73, so he played 14 seasons. Right halfway through his career, he just switched. He changed his game, like, tremendously. Like, first year, 38 points, 27 rebounds, 2 assists. Next year, 38 points, 27 rebounds, 2 assists. They didn't count blocks and steals back then. Even like the 50-point season, which was his 62 season, he averaged 50 points, 26 rebounds, 2 assists. And there's no rings at all, like, during these, historic seasons. So he did this in 62. In 63, he averaged 45 a game, and he was traded in 65. Like, if your guy's that good, like, why would you trade him, Like, if you're winning or not winning or whatever, I don't know. But, like, I'm just, in the first season that they actually won, so let me just go to the playoffs. So he has 2 rings. He has one in 67 with Philadelphia. I think it was Philadelphia Warriors at the time. And then he has another one in 72. In 67, he averaged, this is for the playoffs, 22 points a game, 29 rebounds, and 9 assists. So the season before, they'd only played 5 games, so I'm guessing they got knocked out in the first round. 28, 30, and 3. Like, he basically tripled his assist average total, too. Just by, well, not total, because of the games. And it led to the championship ring, like he probably would have been the finals MVP, probably that year. And I think he was finals MVP in 72 when he was with the Lakers with Jerry West winning that championship. His stats through the 72 playoffs, 15 games, he averaged 15 points, 21 rebounds, 3 assists. And like, when you look at like just the last half of his career, he just completely changed his game. He went from winning, his 7 scoring titles are, let's see. Yeah, his 7 scoring titles is literally 7 straight scoring titles from the first year he was there. So his first season started in 59, and his last season started in his 7th season ended in 66, and he won the scoring title every year and never won championship. Even the 62 season, when he averaged 50 a game, this was actually the same season Big O averaged a triple-double. And little known fact is, well, it's not little known, it's just a fact. Neither one of them were the MVP that year. They went to Bill Russell. So, like, with me, I couldn't put Wilt that high. I just couldn't. He just, to me, he's kind of on the lower end. He was obsessed with stats, for at least half his career. And honestly, he was never better than Bill. Like, to me, he just never was. Like, I kind of put them neck and neck, but like, that is that. Um, Magic, fifth. Probably going to be fifth on my list, too. And my argument is like, Magic and Bird were like two guys that were like, unfortunately, they didn't play a long time. Like, Magic played 12 seasons, and he had the HIV thing. So, we missed out on that. And Bird has injuries. He was getting a little bit older, too. And Bill's fourth. So, another thing with Bill is, like, I just can't put Bill Russell that high. And I'm just kind of looking up his stats. Like, for his career, this is just regular season. He averaged 15 points, 23 rebounds, 4 assists. In the playoffs, he played a total of 13 seasons, so he played from 56 to 69, and he won 11 championships, basically 58 and 67 were the ones he didn't win the championship. I agree that he is the best defensive player of all time. I can't imagine how many blocks he would have averaged. He probably have records that couldn't be broken. Him or Wilt, I don't know. One of those guys. Those are probably the top two ever. But like, if I look at like the finals, like, there's finals where he averaged 20 plus points a game, and there's finals where he averaged like 9 points a game. Like I look at this last championship, I'm like, he averaged 11 points a game, 5 assists. 67 or 8. I'm sorry. Let's look at trying to look at ones that he won. Like 64 for the playoffs, he averaged 13 points and 4 assists. First season he won, he averaged 14 points and 3 assists. Like, I get his rebounding. His rebound numbers are just insane. Like, there's 24 for playoffs, 30 and 61. This is like an average rebounds per game for the entire playoffs, which was just nuts. And he played an insane amount of minutes, like in 62, he averaged 48 minutes a game. So unless it went overtime, he played every minute that, was there. I can't put him this high. Like, I just can't. Like, I get like he's dominant defensively, but like, his offensive numbers, he's got the weakest offensive numbers of like anybody top 10. Like, I think he's probably top 10, but like, you got to think about like what he had around him. He had Kuzi, he had Havlicek, he had Bill Sharman, he had Casey Jones, he had Sam Jones. He had like he had Red Auerbach as his coach, except for the last 3 seasons or whatever. He had a lot around him that like kind of helped him focus on rebounding and defense rather than trying to impact more offensively. I think he could have carried the load definitely, but I just can't see him, being that high. Cream third. I basically totally agree with their top 3. Jordan's number 1, LeBron's number 2, 3's Kareem. For me, when I compare LeBron and Jordan, like I think there's 5 guys in NBA history that have gotten like 3 Finals MVPs or more. So there's Jordan, LeBron, Magic, Shaq, and Duncan. And all those guys have got 3 except for 2, and that's Jordan and LeBron. And I think about like, okay, well, how many players have got like at least, like LeBron's got 4 rings, 4 Finals MVPs, and 4 championships. Who's got that or more? Jordan. Jordan's got 5 MVPs, 6 rings, and 6 Final MVPs. I'm not getting into the LeBron and Jordan debate, but like, so the top 3 I totally agree with. Number 1 for me is Jordan, 2 is LeBron, 3 is Kareem, 4 is Duncan for me. I feel like Duncan was that type of player like Bird Magic, like where he was just total team player, totally focused on winning, but he just played longer. Like Bird Magic. I mean, like Magic's got the all-time assists average record, but like he's the best playmaker ever. I mean, just he wasn't going for assist titles; he was going for wins, and he was just that good of a player. Um, so Duncan's 4, Magic at 5, neck and neck. That puts Bird at 6. For me, it's Shaq at 7. Yeah, he got out of shape. But I mean, like, have we seen anybody dominate like he did for 3 straight finals since Jordan? I mean, no. I mean, like, um, let me just look up Shaq like real quick just to kind of put this in perspective because I think people just forget how dominant he was for this stretch. So the 2000 season is when they won the championship. This was Shaq's regular season stat line. He played 79 games, so he only missed 3 games. He averaged 30 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 blocks. He 57 from the field, led the league in that, led the league in scoring too. In 2001, 29, 13, and 4. 2002, 27, 11, 3. From there it just kind of tapers off, like he was, but I mean, this is like his going to his 14th, 12th season, so he's entering his mid 30s. Like if I look at the playoffs, like, God, 2000, 31 points, 15 rebounds, 3 assists. And that's for the entire playoffs. Like the next year, 30 points, 15 rebounds, 3 assists, 2.5 blocks. 2002, 29 a game, 13 rebounds, 3 assists. Let's see. So I'm just kind of looking at like the stats in the final. Jesus, like 2000, where they played the Pacers. Now I'm using this to compare this to Kobe, okay? He averaged 38 points, 17 rebounds, 2.3 assists, 2.7 blocks in 2000, like in the modern era. Like, I mean, that's just nuts. Shot 61% from the field. He did shoot 39% from the free throw line. And then, second top scorer. I mean, everybody else is like Glenn Rice averaged 11. So did Ron Harper. But like Kobe averaged 16, 5, and 4. 37% from the field. Let's see. The next finals. Now, the 2001 finals was against the Sixers. They only lost 1 game. The whole playoffs, which was against the Sixers. Shaq averaged 33 points a game, 16 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3.5 blocks. Shot 57% from the field, shot 51 from the free throw line. And the guy guarding him was one of the greatest defensive players of ever. Who was that year's defensive player of the year was Caveman&Weasel. So I mean, that guy was guarding you. That's pretty nuts. Kobe was definitely better this series. He averaged 25, 8, and 6, 42 from the field, 33 from 3. Great. No one else got in double figures. Derek Fisher's at 9.8. Then we got the 02 finals. Shaq at 36, 12, and 4, which is still nuts. Kobe averaged 27, 6, and 5. Shaq shot 60% from the field, no 3, 66 from the free throw line, which is really good for him. Kobe shot 51 from the field, 55 from 3. And they swept the Nets. So there's that. and I'm gonna fast forward a little bit just to kind of. So let's see, '08 finals. No, I'm sorry, '09. So Kobe's first, to me, like the first championship, he led his team to that. You know, '09 finals, they beat the Magic in 5 games. He played 44 minutes a game, averaged 32, 6, and 7, 43 from the field, 36 from three. Dominant. You know, Powell got 19 and 9. That was kind of their second best player. And then we go to the 2010 finals. 7-game series against the Celtics. Lakers won. Kobe averaged 29, 8, and 4. 41 from the field, 32 from three. Powell averaged 19 and 12 and 4. You know, I mean, like, I got to hand that to him, you know, like, so to me, like, Bird 6, 7 still Shaq. I just think he was slightly dominant, more dominant than that, you know, in that era, in his finals performances in Kobe. So Bird 6, Shaq 7, 8 is Kobe. Honestly, that's where Steph lands for me. I think he lands ninth on this list. So, like, I think he's ninth. I think Hakeem's 10th. I give the edge to Steph because he has, you know, 2 more rings. Should have the 2 finals MVPs like him. And then 11th and 12th is Bill and Wilt. You know, I hate to knock them out in the top 10, but just, you know, for me, it's just, you know, the modern era has just changed. Players can play. You know, if you looked at someone like LeBron, who's 6'9", 250, you know, he would be a dominant center in the 60s and 70s. Like, I mean, like, if you put LeBron against, like, Wilt or Bill or something like that, like, I don't see, you know, them dominating him like that. You know, I just don't see it. You know, just more teams, better players, more talent. You know, I mean, there's guys in the era just like Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, Oscar Robertson. What's the guy I always forget about? The guy played for the Hawks. I can't remember his name right now. Bob Pettit. Yeah, I mean, these guys are all-time greats. You know, they are, but like I can't see them objectively doing, you know, challenging these guys. I mean, Steph is, you know, we look at the all-time, you know, records, and Steph's like, obviously he's all-time in 3-pointers made, but he's only played 13 seasons. You know, like guys like Reggie and Ray played 18 seasons or something like that, you know. And I think, yeah, he's all-time leader in free throw percentage, which means it's not like a big deal or anything like that, but I'm just saying, you know, like he's as prolific of a player as he is, 2 scoring titles. I think his career average is like 25. You know, we look at this and, you know, just, you know, I mean, he's 34, 13th season in the league. Career 3-point percentage is 43, which is on up there. I think Steve Kerr's like still number 1, but like 44%. He's got a steals title. He's got 2 regular season MVPs. You know, we'll look at him in the playoffs. Let's see. You know, just the times that they won, like 15, he averaged 28, 5, and 6. 17, I mean, this was Durant being the best player on the team. He still averaged 28, 6, and 7. 18, he averaged 26, 6, and 5. This finals, he averaged 27, 5, and 6. I mean, for his career, he's 40% from the 3-point line in the playoffs. And that's on an average of like this year, he averaged 40% shot, basically 4 for 10 for his career. Not much fluctuation there. Like 2015, he was like basically 5 for 11 on average per game. Um, yeah, field goal percentage still 45%. If you take out the threes, you're probably looking at like 5 for 9 or maybe 5 for 10, so about like 55%. Um, I mean, like, that's where I put him. I mean, I think he's right there. Like, do I think, like, do I think Durant could beat him? Yeah. Like, I think Durant's, I mean, obviously Durant's 6'10", basically a center that can shoot better than one of the best shooters ever. But, like, I just think Steph's, just a better player all time. Like, I think Durant still got time to climb up that list. But, like, I mean, Durant, they won before Durant, they won after Durant. A lot of this goes to, Steph's, being a great teammate and player, love for him to win more, I mean, it's like LeBron, he's going out, I want to see him break that Creedence record and, do that. But, like, I want to see Steph kind of, maximize his career. I think it would be fun to watch. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of like my reaction to it and, like, my top 10. So, I mean, just to kind of recap, I've got Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, Duncan, Magic. 6 is Bird, 7 Shaq, 8's Kobe, 9 is Steph, and 10's the key. And then after that, I think that last couple of people was Bill 11th, Wilt 12th, and probably Durant. And for me, that's like that top group of players, like, I think, like, you have to accomplish something, which is leading your team to multiple championships to kind of be that top category. So, yeah, that's my top 10 NBA players all time. Let me know what you think. I know everybody's going to hate it. I don't care. It's my list. Everybody's is subjective. Everybody's going to have a disagreement. And, anyways, thanks for watching.